cross-functional alignment. How many of you are struggling with this at your workplace, where you feel working with cross-functional teams is a task? How do I satisfy them? How do I get work done? They probably don't like me. They don't want to support. How to create that cross-functional collaboration. That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. So if that's you, if that resonates, then stay on right until the end. Hi, I'm Aastha Tatia, daughter of two rock-solid pillars, mother to a lovely daughter, wife of a humor king, an engineer, MBA, corporate executive turned anchor person, now an author and a happiness coach, helping corporate leaders build deep connections and meaningful relationships in their organizations, thereby regaining their vitality. If you're able to relate with this video, hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you've not done it already. So, a lot of people, deal with this one issue. A lot of leaders have spoken about it, where they say that, when it comes to dealing with cross-functional teams, it becomes a challenge sometimes, where they're not cooperating. Probably they don't like me, or there's something that I'm missing out. How do I really iron out this whole process? क्योंकि ये बहुत बड़ा पेन हो जाता है और everyday working में interfere करता है. And then next level, it leaves you feeling disempowered, leaves you feeling not worthy. It leaves you feeling, dissatisfied, because it becomes a task to get things done when there is a strain in that relationship with a cross-functional member. Yeah. So I think the fundamental thing when we're talking about collaboration with cross-functional teams is to understand that we're all human beings, okay? They are human beings too. And if we are looking at the battle, if you're just focused on who's right, who's wrong, I did this, but he didn't respond, then you've started it wrong, I would say. It's not going to take you anywhere. If you're always thinking about who's really doing the right thing, I do this, but he doesn't understand, I am ready to do this, but the other person doesn't respond. If that's the mode you're in, it won't lead you anywhere. So instead, consider looking at it from a place of basics, how the brain works. So something that I am doing, something that you are doing is a threat to the other person. If he's not responding, if he's not supporting, if he's not doing stuff that you want him to do, then one, he's coming from his belief system, and that belief system is also triggered. So there's something that you're doing which is a threat for him. He gets triggered and then he shuts. He responds, in that same fashion that he does maybe anywhere else, just the way you also do, right? तो आपने ये देखना जरूरी है कि क्या है मेरे बिहेवियर में, मेरे वर्ड्स में, मेरे तरीके में, जो सामने वाले के लिए पोटेंशियल थ्रेट हो सकता है, जो सामने वाले को इनसिक्योर कर रहा है, जो उनको इट्स नॉट गोइंग डाउन वेल. नाउ यू मे यूज लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट टर्म्स, ego, you talk about the whole image that he carries of himself, and therefore he behaves in a certain way. Whatever you want to say, terminology doesn't matter, but understand that is what it is for him. And if your agenda is to prove him wrong, go ahead, keep doing what you're doing. But if your agenda is to collaborate, to build that connect, then you need to get down to the basics. And what are the basics? कि सामने वाले को उस मोड में लेकर आना where he feels comfortable, he experiences a safe space, he feels comfortable, where you can really have that communication with him. And that's what action looks like. What are you really going to do to iron out, to bridge that gap? It's about having that communication with the other person, starting by creating a safe space, a context that this is what I really desire. I want to have this kind of a relationship, acknowledging him for whatever he's done, how he supported you in the past. And none of it is fake. It's all authentic. So say whatever you really feel about him, whatever is genuine. So letting the other person know that this is good about you, this is something I really admire, this is something I look up to you for, and this is where I need your support, and let me know what we can do here. How can we work together? What is it that I'm missing here? When you make it about the other person instead of you, I am in pain, it's a problem for me, I have to suffer this, I have to go through this, doesn't matter. You're just triggering the other person even more. Or here he comes with all his sulking. But if you make it about the other person, that I understand it may be a lot of trouble for you, it may be a lot of pressure for you, I know there's so many other things that you have to deal with. How can I support you? I need the support from you, and here, what is it that you want from me? How can we smoothen it out? Is there something that I'm missing? Is there anything that I can do so that it becomes easier for you? So one is, what kind of language am I using? And that language comes from the context that I'm carrying. If I enter there with the context of sabak sikhana hai isko to, ye to karega hi nahi, mujhe pata hai, then it doesn't work, because then that shows in your way of being, it shows in your body language, it shows in how you respond to whatever he says, in your little expressions, your gestures, and the other person picks those and he gets threatened by those, right? Happens with you also. So just put yourself into the shoes of the other person. That's where empathy is very, very, very important. So one, bring in that empathy. Look at the other person as a human being. He's not enjoying by doing what he's doing. When he doesn't support you, not that he's enjoying it, right? But there is something that stands as a barrier in the way, in between the two of you, or, so that's where you need to identify that. And how can you do that? By having a communication, because otherwise you will go on assuming things which will serve neither of you. Right? So what I just spoke about is very, very fundamental to strive to create any kind of collaboration. When it is cross-functional teams, you have considered no clue about what's going on in that function. He may have his own set of challenges where he's coming from. What's going on in his life, you don't know. What's going on with his boss, you don't know. What's going on with his team, subordinates, you don't know, right? So when you bring that space, you create that space, and you have a context of connecting, right? And then you go and have that conversation, you're able to, so many different things are going to open up for you. Listening, another powerful thing. When you're coming from a place of empathy, when you're coming from a place of relatedness, okay, I understand he's a human being. There is something which I don't know and I don't understand. Let me figure that out. What's missing? Why is it not happening? And then you sit down and listen to the other person after you've shared the context. And when you're listening, the whole world will open up for you. The other person will feel seen and heard. He will feel acknowledged. So it boils down to how you are making the other person feel. Right now, consider he's not feeling listened to, he's not feeling powerful, he's not feeling the relatedness, something is missing. And that's something, instead of assuming, it's better to figure out by communicating, right? So I think these are some of the basic things. When you start doing these, when you start having, number one, empathy, having your context in place, and with that empathy, with that context, looking at the other person like a human being, and then creating safe space, listening to the other person, right? Because then he'll be able to talk, acknowledging him genuinely, okay, and letting him know within that communication that, okay, I get it. How can I support you? What can I do to smoothen this out? When you do some of these things, these are only very basic things, but if you do these, I can tell you, there's no way you're not going to turn around the whole chemistry. It is definitely going to lead to a powerful collaboration. And you will see that shift, I think, probably in a week, 10 days, if you really genuinely work on what can I do? What more can I bring to the table? What more can I do here? Yeah. So you've got to try it out so that you can experience it, whether it works, it doesn't work. For that, you need to take action, right? Go ahead, do that, come back and share with me. Yeah, in the comments below. And if you're able to resonate with this, if this is happening, you're already doing some of it, it's not working out, even then write to me. If you've not done any of it, you're just struggling, what is it that you're going to do right tomorrow? Put that. So just start, from a place of commitment. What is it that I want to create? Blaming is easy. Commitment, not so easy, but beautiful, very, very powerful, right? Make a choice. If you're able to relate with this video, if this was meaningful for you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.